Alex bows to Jessica Pegula as Miami Open dream run ends. March 27, 2025. Miami, FL, USA, Alexandra Eala, PHL, waves to fans from her player's chair after her match against Jessica Pegula, USA not pictured, in a women's singles semifinal on day 10 of the Miami Open at Hard Rock Stadium. Mandatory credit, Geoff Burke-Imagn Images. Alex Eala ended her dream run in the 2025 Miami Open on Friday, but not before dragging World No. 4 Jessica Pegula to a grueling 3-set showdown in the semifinal. Pegula booked the spot in the final with a 7-6, 3-5-7, 6-3 win against Eala, the 140th ranked history maker from the Philippines, who pushed her to the limits and threatened another upsetty on Friday. "I'm so tired. So tired," said an exhausted Pegula shortly after the match that spilled past midnight in Miami. Live Alex Eala vs Jessica Pegula, 2025 Miami Open semifinal. Eala is really good. Goes for her shots, takes the ball early. Being a lefty is always tricky. Competes really well. She's beaten a lot of top players this week. Pegula set up a showdown against Aryna Sabalenka, who earlier ousted Jasmine Paolini in a 6-2, 6-2 demolition job in the final on Saturday. Despite the loss, Eala was all smiles as she pumped her fists and waved to the gallery filled with Filipino fans. Eala became the toast of the town in Miami after beating 3 Grand Slam champions, Jelena Ostapenko, Madison Keys and World No. 2 Iga Swiatek, the past week en route to the semifinal, setting the record as the first Filipino to make this deep of run in a WTA 1000 tournament. The 19-year-old Filipino ace continued her impressive form in the semifinal against Pegula, a runner-up in the 2024 U.S. Open. Eala lost the opening set in the tiebreak, then rallied to take set 2 to force a decider. "I don't really think she needs me to tell her that she's a great player, that we're not going to see enough of her, but we definitely are, and she proved that tonight. That was really tough," said Pegula of Eala. Eala, the lowest-ranked semifinalist in the tournament's history, seriously threatened to go one step further with another accomplished and effervescent display. Re-aid, Alex Eala, Philippines smash hit on path toward tennis stardom. The tide looked to have turned against her when Pegula broke to go 3-1 up in the second set. But Eala broke back, and her fist pump and look of determination was a sign of things to come. Eala broke Pegula 3 times and was broken twice herself, but crucially was able to hold when serving for the set at 6-5. Both players protected their serve better in the deciding set, but Eala's forehand levered down when the American broke to go 5-3 up, and she served out for a victory that brought her visible relief. "Of course there is disappointment right after the match," said Eala. March 27, 2025. Miami, FL, USA, Alexandra Eala, PHL, reacts after winning a point against Jessica Pegula, USA not pictured, in a women's singles semifinal on day 10 of the Miami Open at Hard Rock Stadium. Mandatory credit, Geoff Burke-Imagn Images. But there are just so many times in tennis where you have to dig through the dirt to look for the positive, and I'm just enjoying because there is so much positive around me, and I don't know how many times that happens," she added. Playing with a strapped thigh from the outset, Eala turned her ankle midway through the second set but said she had not been impacted by the injury. "I literally gave everything I had. I'm half-tape, I'm like a mummy. I did everything and I have no regrets," she said. "To have a week like this, the stars need to align, and they did this week. And hopefully I can keep that up. That is my goal now. To keep this up," she added. Pegula said it had been difficult to play an opponent like Eala. "I let her back in the match at 3-1 up, second set, and she just started ripping her balls, going for her shots, and you just have to weather the storm with people like that. She competes really well," said the American. It was this occasion that captivated the tennis world, especially for fans from the Philippines and beyond. Alexandra Eala, the 19-year-old tennis prodigy from Manila, had made an incredible run at the 2025 Miami Open, defying expectations and surpassing milestones that many seasoned professionals might only dream of. From her brilliant upsets over top-ranked players to her composed, fearless performances, Eala had quickly become a symbol of hope and pride for the Filipino tennis community. But as the sun set on that fateful afternoon at the Hard Rock Stadium in Miami, her remarkable journey came to an end. Standing across from Eala in the semifinal was Jessica Pegula, the American powerhouse currently ranked No. 4 in the world, and a player who had been in outstanding form throughout the tournament. Pegula's consistency, experience, and power on the court make her the favorite heading into the match. Eala, however, was undeterred. The teenager had already achieved more than anyone could have anticipated, and while her dream run at the Miami Open ended with a 6-4, 6-3 loss to Pegula, her performance was a testament to her growth, her resolve, and her potential to dominate the sport in the future. The stage was set. The match was one of the most anticipated of the day. Two contrasting styles coming together in a clash of youthful enthusiasm and experienced power. Pegula, known for her aggressive baseline game, had been cruising through the tournament with a level of consistency that had earned her respect from the tennis community. Eala, on the other hand, was the underdog, the wild card entry with a point to prove. Despite her inexperience at this stage of a major tournament, she had already achieved the unthinkable by toppling some of the most formidable players on the tour, including Iga Swiatek. For Eala, this was more than just another match. It was a chance to show the world that the rise of Filipino tennis was no fluke, and that she was here to stay. But as the match began, it quickly became clear that Pegula's vast experience would be difficult to overcome. The first set, a battle of wills. From the first serve, it was clear that this was going to be a high-level contest. Pegula, with her powerful serve and precision ground strokes, set the tone early. Eala, however, wasn't going to let the occasion get the best of her. Her forehand, which had been so lethal throughout the tournament, continued to be a weapon, and her quick movement around the court kept Pegula on her toes. In the opening exchanges, both players traded powerful shots from the baseline, engaging in long rallies that showcased their resilience and skill. Pegula's serve was a key asset, and she managed to hold her own against Eala's relentless pressure. However, it was Eala's fearless nature that stood out. Despite facing a much higher-ranked opponent, she refused to back down. But as the set progressed, Pegula's experience started to show. At 3-3, Pegula capitalized on a couple of unforced errors from Eala, breaking her serve to gain a crucial 4-3 lead. The American's ability to dictate play with her forehand, combined with her deep returns and consistency, proved too much for Eala at that moment. The teenager struggled to find the same rhythm that had carried her through previous rounds, and though she fought hard, Pegula eventually took the first set 6-4. The second set, a step too far. Eala's dream run had already exceeded expectations, and she was determined to continue battling. However, Pegula's experience on the big stage became even more evident in the second set. The American's composure in high-pressure moments helped her maintain control, and her confidence was palpable as she surged to a 3-0 lead. Eala's relentless spirit was still there. She never stopped fighting, never stopped pressing. But the American's powerful ground strokes, combined with her incredible court coverage, created an almost insurmountable wall for Eala to break through. Pegula's deep returns and consistent depth on both wings were simply too much for the young Filipino to handle.